Hey, bye, podcast again. And today, guys, I'm here to do another album review, and this album review is to Fate Extra Last Encore Episode 4, guys. So let's get into it. So, guys, in this episode of Fate Extra Last Encore, first up, at the start of the episode, we've got to say that with Nero, she gives no fucks of how people see her. Like, damn, like after taking a bath with Rin, who surprisingly, like, after coming out of the, after ascending to the next floor, she disappeared for some reason. Like, we don't see, like, she just doesn't appear the rest of this episode. She only appears, like, at roughly the start of the start of the episode, and then for some reason for the rest of the episode she just disappeared somehow. And the reason why you can also say that she disappeared is because Nero actually does say, well, what happened to that girl Rin? Like, she actually says it in the episode, which, what the hell happened to Rin? Where is Rin? Like, that is the one thing I'm wondering. Like, she possibly could still be in the room that they were in. Possibly, but I don't know. But that, for some reason, Rin disappeared, so where she is, I have no idea. That is something I really want to know. That's one question that the episode left me off with, so I don't know what happened to her, so I can't wait until find out what happened to her. So that's one thing I want to say there. Now, let's go to what episode is about. So, during this, we see Honoko, he starts to develop, more human emotions. You can see he starts to get more of his human emotions back. Because after ascending to the first floor, before they ascended to this floor they're on right now, floor 2, before they ascended to it, he was in his, like, a ladder room, you know, the escalator room they're in, which tracks him to the next floor. He was there, and he was wondering himself after what I remember correct. She's the rider. No, she's the. I'm trying to remember her class. I think she was. Yeah, I think she was rider. Yeah, rider, like pirate rider. Like, you guys remember her, like the pirate girl from last episode. I think she's a rider class servant. She. After, as you know, she died, she pretty much tells Honoko, what was the reason why you want to ascend to the next floor? Why do you want to keep on ascending? That is what she asked, and obviously Honoko doesn't know why that was what he's been, like, complicated in this episode. He was complicating, why does he want to ascend to the next floor? Why does he want to keep on ascending? Because he just said, the only thing I feel is hatred, and that's it. But for some reason, I want to also ascend to the next floor. Why I want to go and ascend to the next floor? Now, Nero does come in, like, in that, like, outfit. So the outfit she wore at the start of the episode was like, damn, Nero, damn. Like I said, she doesn't give any fucks to what people think she looks like. Because, God's sake, oh man, that outfit looks. Very revealing, but I gotta say, it looks good on her. It looks damn good on her. So she does tell Honoko, humans, they have 3 desires that makes them want to continue to carry on, and she says those 3 desires are the only reasons to carry on. And it sort of cheered Honoko up, and after speaking that, after talking to Honoko about it, they soon later reached the next floor, which is when after the bath scene that's because the last scene we saw Rin in this episode was the bath scene, which was the only last time we saw her in this episode. So I'm still wondering what happened to Rin. What happened to Rin? But anyway, after ascended, Nero and Honoko looked at like, sort of scouting, you can say, looking over the new floor, what kind of floor it is, and they know it's like a ruin, like a ruined forest-like area, and that's what they're at. Then sooner or later, we also get introduced to the two main enemies of this floor, which are this old dude who's a sniper and the servant Archer. Now, this Archer servant, based on what he looks like, there's a possibility this Archer is Robin Hood, which makes sense. It will make sense if it's Robin Hood. This Archer could be Robin Hood. The reason why I'm saying it's Robin Hood, because the way he looks like a bandit, or he looks like an assassin from Assassin's Creed. I can't say that. He wears a cliche hood, so that's one thing. But he looks like medieval foot soldier. Like, he looks like that. He just looks like that. It's a bandit foot soldier like character. That's what he looked like, and he's classified as an archer, which personally means, from the way he looks, the only person I know that would dress like that is Robin Hood. Or Robin Hood. That's the only character I feel like could fit his description. I might be wrong. There might be other legendary or well-known people out there in the world that have this similar look, like Robin Hood, which makes sense because the majority of people back in the time of Robin Hood had, even the people who are known legends with the same kind of get up exist. So it's a possibility that he could be a different character. But from the way it looked like, MP and Archer, I think he might be Robin Hood. But I can't declare that. It has not been declared that he's actually Robin Hood, but it has been declared that he's an archer. And this is actually the only reason why I feel like he might be Robin Hood. Because as he's an archer, Robin Hood is quite famous for being an archer. So I feel like he might be an archer. But I also can see Robin Hood as an assassin. I'm just saying that I can see Robin Hood as an assassin. So even if he might not be this archer, there's a possibility the assassin could be Robin Hood, but I might be wrong. But I feel like this archer right here is Robin Hood. So I'm just saying that there. So at the start we see Hanako was about to get sniped. Hanako was about to get sniped, but Neo realized that there was someone nearly sniped at Hanako, and she deflected the bullet with her sword. And because of that, they knew the position they were in were not safe, and we found so they knew they'd have to jump down from the building, from the castle they were on, to trying to find the master that was shooting at them. Now, one thing we do find out about Hanako, even though it was a quick shot, they didn't have time to really calculate of where the shot was coming from. Surprisingly, Hanako actually already was aware of where the shooting was coming from, where the sniper was shooting from, because he had a very good position of where the master was shooting, which Neo sort of was a bit surprised that the master is able to do that. So that was something we get a chance to see that. Now, this is the one point where we get a chance to see Hanako showing more emotion. This is the point where we get a chance to see Hanako feel more emotion, because what he does, he ends up saying thank you to Neo, and because he says thank you for always protecting me, thanks you for being here always for me. That's what she gets said, and we see Neo just saying, "Oh, praise me more." Probably who wouldn't know, she's a teeny bit like Gilgamesh. For anybody who wants to know, she's a teeny bit like Gilgamesh, but even though she's got a lot of elements of Gilgamesh, she also has her own elements, which makes the balance between her personalities like Gilgamesh looks more better than what Gilgamesh is like. Gilgamesh, oh god, Gilgamesh's personality was like, no, no. But when Neo does it, it looks way better than she acts way better and looks more cute and acts more cute than Gilgamesh did. So I just got to mention that for anybody who wasn't aware. Now we just see we get a chance to see Neo, and she looks like she just wants to be praised by her master. I've got to say that, and just seeing their interaction in this part of this episode look adorable. But then sooner or later, Archer, aka I feel like could be Robin Hood, comes in and uses part of his normal phantasm, which makes him able to go invisible and relieve the poisonous fog. Now, this is not the first time I saw this somewhat technique, because I watched Fate Profika, and there was another type of character that had this ability. But the only problem is this character was an assassin who had the ability to produce poison smoke. But the assassin from Fate Profika, and I'm not going to reveal the assassin's name for anybody who's not watched Fate Profika, so I'm just saying that I'm not going to reveal it, but the assassin from Fate Profika they did have the ability to go invisible. I'm just saying that they didn't have the ability to go invisible. So while the archer in Fate Extra Last Encore does have the ability to turn also invisible, well, along with the also ability to make his own arrows to turn invisible. So obviously they had the sort of disadvantage of defending themselves, and they had a quite hard time. Then at one point it looked like both then soon later Nero gets hit by one of the arrows, which looked to be quite even though Nero keeps saying it wasn't too big of a deal, it didn't. Obviously, you can tell it was a bit like a bad injury she took there, and she was like, even though she kept on fighting, you can definitely tell she was in pain, and Honoka didn't like it. And what he ends up doing, after it looks to the point both him and Nero was about to be defeated, he used his command skill to make Nero use her normal phantasm, or to be more exact, use her sword's normal phantasm. And I've got to say, that freaking blazing Noble Phantasm she released to her sword. Damn, I love that. I like fire-based abilities. I've got to mention that. But my two most favourite elemental abilities are fire and electric, or lightning, depending on how you say it. But those are the two favourite elemental abilities I've got to say there. And I've got to say that fire Noble Phantasm ability looks freaking good. Now, this I don't think is her main Noble Phantasm, even though Honoko looked like he has used his command still. You can definitely tell he used his command still. It showed that obviously he used that command still. But even after using that, it seems like they were about to be killed. And sooner or later, another fallen master comes in and saves them, who is also in the same position as Rin, which could be the reason why Rin's not here, but I don't fully know. But she is a fellow rebel who is here to, who ends up defending, who used her defensive magic to defend Hanako from, and Saber from the arrow attack, and of course knocks Archer away. And after noticing his no phantasm got negated somehow, or Archer decides to decides to retreat, and that's the full last time we've seen him in the main of this episode until the last few seconds of after the ending song. Now after that, we see they go to this master's this fallen master's hideout to regenerate, to heal from this battle. Now, this is when we see, while resting, we see Hanako starting to have a dream. He starts to have a dream. And this dream he was having is one of his memories. One of his memories he remembers. And this person he remembers, he was on a floor that he thinks he has been to before. The Algorist cage, I might be wrong. The Aegis cage. I think I might be saying it wrong, but it's that floor room he was in, and he realized this person who, from what of my research is, this guy is supposed to be one of the main enemies of this season, of this series. This guy is supposed to be one of the main enemies. So I was wondering, okay, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Like, I want to fully know his backstory fully, but from what I've done, this guy that Hanako remembers in his dream, he's supposed to be a main enemy. But what I do know is Hanako, he knows this person, he knows this room, and he realized that he must have descended from this room before. Now, we do find out one thing in this after this dream, we see Hanako realizing that start to realize more about himself. He starts to realize more about himself. In this dream, he says he has died multiple times before. But then came back and fought again. He starts to realize that I have always knew from the beginning that that's what he's been going on with him. He had died before and he get reincarnated and fight again. That's one thing I knew I already knew about him, and it got declared that's what was happening to him. But it's not like a full declaration. It's only in the dream. That's what he thinks is going on. But he does recognize the man and what was going on there. Now, after that, he goes and finds out, walks out after waking up from that nightmare he had, and finds the Fallen Master around some grave. around these graves. Who? I forgot. Sorry, I forgot her name. I've got her name. She is someone the sixth, someone the seventh. Like I can't read for it. I definitely know she has like a seventh in her name. Like the seventh in her name. Just gonna mention that. Now we do find out. Where Hanukkah found her, she was amongst these graves, who are the graves of the fallen master that this master they're fighting has killed. Who we found out. I mean, it looks like we know the reason why he killed them, because the master they're fighting in this episode, the master they're fighting, he seems like he wants to ascend, and the reason why he killed them is because he wants to ascend the next four, along with so you can. So that's one thing I want to know. Okay, if he wants to ascend the next four, isn't it? Aren't you supposed to only kill one master and servant? So why he has to only defeat one pair? So why has not he ascended? That's the thing. Why is he not ascended? Why did you have to kill this many masters and servants to ascend? That's what I'm wondering about. But that's what these graves are: the fallen masters and all the dead masters that unfortunately didn't survive the rampage of this guy. Now we do find out that this fallen master, the reason why she's here is because she feels like they need some form of memorial, they need some form of place to be buried. That's what she's here for, and she keeps on doing. Now we do find out one thing. This is no longer set in the 21st century, or nowhere near in like our time period. This is set in the year 3020. It has been, and Hanukkah was shocked, like, what? This is set in the 3020. We're in the year 3020. That's what he said, because we found out that he's now no longer in the 21st century. Because we found out she's been waiting here for 50 years. She's been waiting here for 50 years. And Hanukkah at first he feels like, okay, maybe she was born in the 1900s, but then that's when she tells her that this is now in the year 50. This is now the year 3020. It's now in the year 3020, and Hanukkah was like, what? And Hanukkah was shocked at realizing that, and she tells Hanukkah what happened, and the reason why the moon sound is like right now. Why this supposed to be a heavenly place, where originally was meant to be a place for humans to stay after death, or something like after creation. Like it seems like in the real world it disintegrated, and this is the only last place that humans can get sent to and live in. But sooner or later the Seraph started to, of course, self-destruct, or starts to break down. Because of that, the rules of the Holy Grail War got corrupted, and it's no longer any proper rules, and now it's just a massacre. Most people think it's going to be. And that is the main reason what's been going on, and they don't know why behind it, and that's what this girl wants to know, what has been going on, and all this. But she had a premonition. She had from the stars telling her that sooner or later a master and a servant are coming to ascend and to defeat and find the reason what this is going on. Why is Seraph discriminating? Why is it getting destroyed? And this servant is meant to be the savior. That's the reason why they're here. So, and overall, that's what the episode is pretty much about. Now, as I said, at the end of the episode, we see an interaction between Archer and his, I think, master. I might be wrong, because they do say, okay, we know we're going to ally each other up to fight. Because there's a possibility that both this servant and master, which I'm surprised the servant's not still there. Like, possibly could be the same rules still. But we see that, it's sort of hard to know if they actually this Archer and this Master are actually partners. I don't really know, because like at the end, at the start I thought they were partners, but then when it said what they said at the end of the episode, I was like wondering, okay, are they actually not partners? Are they actually not in a pact? That's something I was wondering. But I'm still 90% believe that they are master and servant pact. So that's something I want to realize. Now, animation, I've got to say, god damn, the animation looked gorgeous. especially during the forest scene. I've got to say this, and during the grave scene, the animation for those, in the majority of them are still frames. I've got to say, it looked so good, and the fighting looked good, but I think that, unfortunately, I've got to say, I will say the fighting, a teeny of it was the weaker of the two animations, was the weaker of the animations I think I saw in this episode. I've got to admit that, but definitely the episode during the those still frame scenes where Hanako and Neo were like bonding and with Hanako giving her praise, and just that scene looked gorgeous. And during the grave scenes, I got to say that looked gorgeous as well. The overall magical feel we see there, that looked good as well. Overall, that's all I got to say about this episode. Anyway guys, that's my anime review to Fate Extra episode. Well, Fate Extra Lost Encore episode 4, guys. I hope you guys like up on chat fans today. If you guys want to send them out, just down below. And also if you guys want to help me on Patreon, my Patreon's down there as well. Anyway guys, I hope you guys comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys!